in town, Podna. Trey's Chowdown Podcast Live will feature celebrity chefs and pitmasters with celebrity mixologists with creative cocktail menus from distilleries statewide. We'll have farmers, ranchers, wildlife experts, fishermen, and more, all for the culinary world and the foodies. Live from the Spoony Studios on the iHeartRadio platform, Trey's Chowdown Podcast Live. All right, here we are back again on Friday for Spoony Radio and Trey's Chowdown Live. And today we're here with the Deep Ellum Distillery and Deep Ellum Brewery boys, Aaron and Reed. Y'all want to say hello this morning?
Hey guys, hey, how are y'all doing?
Hi, how you guys doing?
All right, we're going to talk a little bit about Fort Worth, Dallas, and alcohol, beer, spirits. That's classified as beer and spirits, correct?
Yes,
oh,
yes, they are.
Okay, good, great. So, Reed, tell us a bit about yourself. You're the master. Just tell us, tell us what you do for the Deep Ellum. And
yeah, so my name is Reed Huddleston. I'm from Dallas originally. I'm the master distiller or head distiller. Sorry, I prefer head distiller. Everyone keeps calling me master. No, I'm not a master. I'm a head distiller.
Not till he retires.
Like you need to have a little karate thing on. We call him master.
I prefer to keep the dojo at home. Yeah. No, I'm the head distiller for Deep Ellum Distillery. So a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm from Dallas originally, but I did my master's degree in brewing distilling sciences at Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh, Scotland. And then I just bounced around all over the world, spent a little time in Canada, I've hung out in Germany, hung out in Ireland, all over, just learning the craft before moving back to Dallas to come back and start distilling for Deep Ellum.
So you went to school in Scotland?
I did.
That must have been fun.
It was very cold, but also very fun.
So did you learn everything start to finish in Scotland, or did you know something before you went there?
Well, so I've been working for breweries before that, but I really learned the science and how to get it all organized.
And how long were you there?
I was there. The program is exactly 1 year, and then I was there for a few months on either side. So it comes out to almost a year and a half, 2 years. Did you do any kind of internships there? Or did you just work every day? Was it an everyday deal there? So the school sets you up with all kinds of internships. So on the weekends, I did a lot of things. I actually did a program inside the school called Natural Selection, where we all apply to be on this team to brew a beer, and I was selected to be the head brewer of that beer. And so we brewed a beer and then sold it throughout Scotland, England. Actually, it sold all the way to Australia.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. And Aaron,
yeah,
you've been in Dallas a long time, and you were with Deep Ellum. Tell us what you do and how you got started.
Very long, man. So I've been with Deep Ellum for almost a year now. They brought me on to run the tasting room in there. I love it. It's a great company to work for. You know, we're a small craft distillery.
Yes, you are.
But you know, we're definitely getting that product out there now, and everyone loves the product.
Yeah.
I've been in the restaurant business for about 23 years now. Very long time. Very long time.
I met you a decade ago.
Yeah, a long time. So you know, growing up, my parents owned restaurants. So you know, I literally was born to do this. You know.
Right.
Remember when I was a little kid washing dishes, busting tables in my parents' restaurant, stuff like that. It was real cool. So you know, I started out working for Brian Harder and Jerry Elliott over at the Zen Concept.
Right.
You know, they own basically all the shops at Legacy now. Very good guys to work for. After I worked for them for about 9.5 years, after I left them, came down to the uptown area. Started out at O-Bar, and then from O-Bar just worked my way around. You know, worked at basically every top nightclub, bar you could think of that's open in Dallas, you know, in the past couple of years.
Right.
And now I'm, you know, at the distillery, which I love. It's a different side of the alcohol business that I've never been, you know, that I've never done before. So it's pretty cool.
Well, you made a lot of creative cocktails and stuff. I mean, I've seen you do various. I don't know if they're not nightclubs. Are the nightclubs? What do you call them? Bars, nightclubs.
Oh yeah, craft cocktail bars.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've done some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Which is what you also do at Deep Ellum.
Yeah.
The distillery side.
Yeah, the distillery side.
Right.
So yeah, you know, like I learned from good friends of mine, Jesse Powell, Jeremy Elliott, how to make craft cocktails. You know, me being in the bar industry for such a long time, I was always a turn and burn kind of guy. So I just pumped out as many cocktails as I could. You know, you have vodka sodas, Crown and Cokes, whatnot. But I always envied the guys that could do craft cocktails because they're basically a chef behind the bar. You know, you got to get your flavor profiles together and all that. And you know, I was like, man, I don't think I could ever do that. And then you know, once the guys started teaching me how to actually, you know, match flavors and stuff together, it just came naturally to me. You know, so those guys taught me, and then when my best friend decided to open up a Tipsy Alchemist in Uptown, you know, he brought me on to help him open it up, and that's where I really got to open up my mind on making different cool cocktail.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not craft over there. You know, it's like gastronomy and I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
I mean, they do.
And we're going to have y'all on the show one day too.
Yes.
We're going to talk.
I'm sure Scuba would love that.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right. So tell us what's involved. I know Deep Ellum has a lot of different flavors. What are the most popular flavors? I guess this is going to be one of them.
Yeah, so I actually brought two separate things. We are a sister company with Deep Ellum Brewing, which is just opened up a brewery out in Fort Worth now. So we've got a brew pub in Fort Worth and then the main production brewery in Deep Ellum. And what I brought was, considering it's Friday morning and before 11 o'clock, I brought our need a little pick-me-up. I brought our Oak Cliff Coffee Ale, which is an awesome beer. Although I wouldn't recommend always drinking it in the morning. It does give you a little pep. But
so does it have caffeine?
It does have caffeine in it. It does have actual real coffee from Oak Cliff Coffee Roasters. I believe that's a El Salvadorian bourbon blend in that one. We kind of change it up depending on what's available from the roasters and what's going with our right flavor profile for the time. But it should still taste basically the same all year round. And so it's just a great, easy drinking beer. It's got a lot of coffee notes to it, obviously, but it's also just got a lot of beer notes.
Sure. So when you read, who comes up with the flavors? Do you come up with the flavors, or do y'all, and then you figure out how to do them?
So I work for the distillery specifically, so I only do this distilled spirits. I do. I love helping out with the brewery guys, and we hang out a lot and stuff like that. But the beer is definitely the brewers, so you have to talk to them about how they come up with that. I just brought two of my favorite beers that they brew over there, and I am a brewer by trade originally, so I have a good appreciation of what they do over there.
Awesome. And this is which one is this?
This is Easy Peasy IPA. It's kind of I was hoping it would be a warmer day.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Easy.
I was hoping it'd be a warmer day, but obviously we can't really get that today. It's like negative whatever degrees outside.
It's a little chilly today.
But Easy Peasy is our sessionable IPA that's brewed with citrus in it, and so it gives it a really nice, light, easy drinking, citrusy vibe that is probably best enjoyed during the summer, but if it's really cold out, you can also enjoy it and think of the days of summer at least.
Now, there are a lot of the beers that are seasonal, correct?
Yes. There's a couple of seasonals, and then there's a couple of year-rounds. Our two biggest year-rounds that you probably most people know are Dallas Blonde and then Deep Ellum IPA.
That's why I know about those very well.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're opened up in Fort Worth. Actually, today's the first day in Fort Worth, right?
Yes.
11 o'clock, right?
West 7th.
Yes, West 7th area.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock today.
We're going to be there.
Yes, indeed.
That's right. Some pizza and some beers at 11 o'clock.
So I saw them. It took them a while. I watched the progress on that. It took them a while to get it going.
Yeah, they were. Again, I mostly work on the spirit side, so it is technically a separate company. But they were hindered a little bit just building it out, figuring it out, getting working with the city to make sure it was working really right.
Yeah. And the government shutdown didn't help. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That stalled everything. Right?
Yeah, that's all. They couldn't brew beer.
Yeah, that's because of the permits.
Yeah, the TTB.
That was like 2 months, right?
Almost that. The estimated time for us to get all of our permits, and this is on the distillery side too, everyone was shut down. It's supposed to be 80 days, and it ended up taking 184 days.
Well, that's not very good.
No.
Yeah.
It was just bad timing is what it was.
Well, yeah. That costs a lot of money. That's right in the pocketbook, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I know they just started brewing beer in Fort Worth, yesterday or 2 days ago, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So what's the difference in brewing beer and distilling it? I know it's a different process. Can you just kind of maybe shorten it up or just tell me?
So a good friend of mine, Chris Lurig, used to say that distillers or brewers quit halfway. Distillers are the ones that really finish it out. So in order to make a good distilled product, what you really want to do, especially a whiskey, is you want to make a good beer. So we start out with the same grains, same kind of processes. We do the same sort of mashing technique. We ferment in a very similar fashion. There's some slight differences because there always are. And then once we've got this finished beer, we decide to distill it. And we decide to concentrate the alcohol in it through the distillation process. And so that's what the big copper stills are for. A lot of people will be like, oh, so this makes the alcohol. I'm like, no. This just concentrates the alcohol.
Concentrates the alcohol.
Yeah. And I basically spend my days looking over a big boiling pot. That's all I do.
Is that the one I've been the one?
Yeah. Our Vendo copper pot.
That's the one I took pictures of.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's gorgeous, man.
Second largest one in Texas, I believe, right?
Yes, as far as I know.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a 1,500 gallon Vendome. It's got an amazing capacity. It's one of the best stills I've ever worked on.
Yeah, and it's just when you walk in there, it all strikes you. Yeah, when you walk in there,
it's like the centerpiece of the distillery.
Yeah. So before I go on talk about the flavors, I want you to tell a bit about the distillery itself, the bar and everything, and people come and visit.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
So we have the tasting room. It's open Friday and Saturday from 3 to midnight. It's cool because when we open up the tasting room, obviously you don't want to go in the tasting room and just drink straight vodka all day, because that's really no fun. Right. So we had to get a little creative. We decided to do infusions. So when you come into the distillery, we have about 16, 17 different kind of infusions. They're all infused differently. Strawberry basil, we got some serrano, we got apple cinnamon. We got a dill pickle, which we brought today, which is awesome. we got to get a little creative. And then on top of that, we made cocktails out of it. Right. So it was tough creating the menu there because we're only allowed to sell what we make there. So I can't put any fillers in it. So, coming up with cocktails was a little bit of a challenge. Sure. But, we made it happen. So a lot of reductions, a lot of juices, and
you just spray them prominently. So if you walk in there, it's really neat. You can see all the flavors. I mean, and each one looks different. You can just look. It's actually amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. And so, most people's first question is how long does it take for it to infuse? And I'd say 24, 48 hours minimum normally. What's the price? Is there one you got to go 7 days or 10 days or just all? Because I see you making it. I see you making stuff in back, and then you put it.
So it really depends on what flavor we're looking for. Yeah. Some of them are as short as an hour and a half. That's the shortest one I've ever done.
Okay. Which is with smoked oak?
That's actually the hops. Which you've never seen because we liked it, but we decided we didn't like it enough.
A hoppy vodka.
Yes, it was amazing how quickly the flavors just.
So hoppy vodka? What did that taste like? Beer?
It tasted a little like beer. The problem that we found with it was that it tasted great, but it tasted too much like beer, so people would drink it like beer, and you don't want someone drinking 12 ounces of vodka.
No, not a good idea.
Yeah,
you have them falling out on the floor over there.
Right? Yeah, it was a little interesting. So. The longest one, though, the longest infusion that I think we've done is probably the rock and rye infusion that we do with our vodka. Right. So it's not quite a traditional rock and rye, but we're doing the same spices. And that one takes at least a week, but I really find that almost 2 weeks for it to infuse.
And can you tell us about the process? What's that flavor, rock and rye? What is it? What's the flavor profile?
So rock and rye is actually a protected cocktail by the U.S. government. However, and it traditionally uses rye whiskey, but we don't have any rye whiskey available, so we're using our vodka as a base. And back in the day, rock and rye was when a bartender wanted to serve a rye whiskey that wasn't fully aged or didn't have all the flavors to it. What he would do is he would add rock candy syrup, as well as oranges, cinnamon, cloves, all kinds of different barks and things to really get the whiskey to taste like it was supposed to taste.
It was aged okay.
Yeah, it tastes like it was aged okay. Okay. So we did the exact same thing with the vodka, and we use a couple of different roots in there. Sarsaparilla is in there, so it's got a little
sarsaparilla.
Yeah,
that used to be a big drink back in the day, right?
Yes, indeed, it did.
Root beer, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's got a lot of root beer flavor. Yeah, and it makes it just a really interesting, very light, easy drinking, almost like an old fashioned cocktail if you drink it straight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
And so that's actually what we put in our old fashioned. So we make a vodka old fashioned at the distillery, and we barrel age it. So we have a barrel behind the bar. We actually have like 5 barrels at the bar.
Oh wait, is that what sits on the?
Yeah. So that's the old fashioned in there. So what we have in there is smoked oak vodka and then the rock and rye vodka, and we put them in the barrels and we let it age.
That is neat.
Yeah, and it really tastes like an old fashioned.
And why is that protected by the government? You said it's protected by the government. Why?
Well, so there's a couple of cocktails and a couple of different drinks that the U.S. government has like definitions of what they are, and so they're considered protected definitions.
Okay, so as long as you don't use that, you can achieve the same flavor profile. You just can't use those ingredients.
Yeah, we can't use those.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so on the back of the bar, I was talking about those barrels. You have those 5 barrels back there. What is in those 5 barrels?
They're all the old fashions.
They're all you have to have enough of them.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just barrel them and I just let them age. So if you look at the barrels, they're labeled with different dates on them. So once the day I run out, I'll pull another barrel down and then serve that one, and then I'll fill the old barrel back up and then let it sit there and age.
Is there ever a time when you've run out yet?
No.
Okay.
There's no way. There's 5 barrels.
But before we're going to get into flavors a little bit. We're going to take a break in a little bit. And we'll get into flavors after that. But I want to know about some of the drinks. Is there one drink that you know, and I've tried. You've made me quite a few of them.
Yeah.
I like to post about them and stuff. But there's one drink that I try is the apple pie. Is that?
Yeah, the apple pie.
That thing was you couldn't even taste the alcohol. That thing's dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. You know, we had a corporate event there last night at the distillery, and literally everybody was drinking it. Everyone, even the guy that was throwing it, got on the microphones like, guys, everybody needs to try the apple pie.
Where did the flavor profile of the ideal come from? Now, obviously, apple pie, but what was how did you achieve it?
I think Reed's the one that came up with the apple cinnamon infusion, and then I'm the one that came up with the cocktail. So I don't. I mean, I just I was just sitting there trying to think what would be good with apple cinnamon flavors, and so obviously lemon juice would go good with apple cinnamon. Then I made a caramel reduction. And
well, see, you make it sound simple, but it's not. I watch you back there. It's not simple.
Yeah, I mean,
so how do you make it? You heat the caramel and
yeah. So basically, what I do is I take just regular caramel, and then I'll add a little bit of hot water, and then I'll just reduce it all the way down.
Because it tastes just like an apple pie. Yeah. So everybody loved it last night.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, and then I have the graham cracker crust on the rim of the glass.
Oh yeah. That's why I forgot about that. Yeah, because so when you taste it, it tastes just like
so you got the crust.
Yeah, like at my grandma's house. But I'm not really grandma's house.
Exactly.
So how did that? What made you think about doing the apple pie drink? He made the flavor. What made you think about?
Like I said, I was just trying to figure out
what would go good with it.
Yeah, just apple cinnamon. I was just trying to come up with different ideas, and then when I thought of apple and cinnamons, I thought of a pie.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a pie cocktail.
How many tries did it take you?
It took me not that many. I probably tried, just messing with the amount of the ingredients, 3 or 4 times before I got it down.
Okay, yeah. So you have a list there. I know you probably can't remember them all, but you've got a list that you give people when they walk in.
Yeah.
And let's say, what are the top 3 cocktails that people order there?
I would definitely see the League of Their Own, which is our take on a mule. So it's our strawberry basil infused vodka, lime juice, a little bit of simple ginger beer. Pretty simple. It's garnished with a big mint bouquet and a slice of.
And what's that one called?
The League of Their Own.
The League of Their Own, like baseball.
Yeah. So we kind of named all the cocktails over like movies or stuff like that.
That's cool.
So we have one cocktail which is really good. It's a coffee drink. We call it the Drago. So people are always like, why is it called the Drago? And I was like, because it's our version of a White Russian. From Rocky.
Okay.
Drago. And Rocky. Yeah. So that was our version of that. So.
And what vodka do you put in there?
So we use the coffee infused vodka and then the cacao infused vodka.
Okay.
And then I put orgeat in it, which is basically like an almond syrup.
Okay. Do all the infusions start with just the regular
Deep Elm vodka?
Flavorless vodka?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything does.
So when you make it, you have to start with this. You can't just you can't go straight to you have to make this and add the flavor.
Right. Right. So.
Okay.
And it's a bit of a process to figure that out sometimes.
Okay.
I got lucky and I got Reed over here. So he's the one that, Reed is very particular. So it's weighed down to the gram on every single one of our infusions.
To the gram?
Literally to the gram. Like I have a scale and I do 1,500 grams of strawberries, 20 grams of basil every time I make it. I'd make 10 bottles of Deep Elm vodka.
Yeah. I'd make them do nanograms if I could.
How do you, to achieve the exact flavor profile?
Exactly.
And if you Harry carry it all the time, it's never be the same.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you, Reed, what is your process of getting that? How do you go about that?
Well, so like I said, we start with a vodka, and literally 9 times out of 10, it's just us sitting at a bar talking about what flavors taste good. What's the flavor that I want to drink right now, or something. Sure. So there's another infusion that we have that's kind of a cherry limeade infusion, and
cherry limeade like Sonic.
So I think you had that drink once.
I probably
it
did.
was called the Route 66.
Okay.
The cherries are out of season. They're out of season. Hopefully, I'm sure they're coming back pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was one of our top sellers.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the way that came about was I was sitting at Angry Dog, which is another awesome bar that serves our vodka, real close by. We're talking with Howard, who's the manager there, and a couple of other people from the brewery and distillery. And we were just talking about, like, you know what I used to do? I remember when I would go to Sonic, buy those cherry limeades, and then add a bunch of vodka. I was like, dude, I bet you we could make a better one of that.
A boozy version of it.
Yeah.
A better version.
I feel like the best ideas come when you've been drinking.
And you know what?
Especially
some of the biggest deals are made at bars and golf courses over alcohol.
Yeah.
And I tell people this all the time. There's so many people now that rely on email and texts and all that stuff. I like face-to-face interaction with everything I do. I think that's the best way to do it. And I think that what y'all do, it's got to be face-to-face. I mean, you could try to do it over email and text, but it's not going to work.
Yeah,
no.
Every once in a while, someone asks me what I'm in the business of, and I'll say world peace, because Every piece of deal has been hammered out in the bar. We all know that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it's. I think sometimes, especially people making big deals, it eases the tension. Like you had a corporate function there last night. You get a group big of people at a corporate function, and they have a few, cocktails, and they loosen up. Exactly. They don't have to be hammered, drunk. They just have a few. They loosen up. They make deals. They talk about things, and people that might not talk to their coworker or something about a deal will loosen up and talk to them about that. Yeah. So. And the way the distillery set up, it's neat anyway. It's just very friendly and inviting.
It is. It's a really cool event space too. If you really need it to be. So.
Is the pickup still there?
Oh yeah, the pickup's there. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
We're trying to take it out for the St. Patty's Day parade.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
And motorcycle? Who rides? Is anybody riding a motorcycle?
So Andrew rides a motorcycle. Ethan would take it out every once in a while, but he's in Fort Worth now. So
yeah, he's got.
He's a busy
Fort Worth
man.
is nice. It's gonna be nice.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful out there.
Yeah. So that was the second. So what's the third most popular drink?
The third one. So my second one would be the Tropic Thunder.
Okay, Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, that's the one that has the Serrano.
Sounds like a NASCAR name.
So that has our Serrano infused vodka, and people, I don't like spicy stuff. So when people ask me, is it super spicy? I'm like, honestly, it's really not. It just has a nice little kick to it. But that one has Serrano vodka in it, lemon juice, orgeat, which is the almond syrup,
right,
and then topped off with tropical Red Bull.
And you said sriracha? No, Serrano.
Serrano
peppers.
Serrano peppers.
Do you use the actual peppers?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And how do you figure that? What do you just cut one down and?
Yeah, so I would take 63 grams. I take 63 grams of Serranos and I slice them, and then I take all the seeds out and the vein out.
You're like a drug dealer from Miami or something. Columbia or something.
I got all these numbers burned in my brain now because I make them every day.
Oh my gosh!
And I take 25 grams of whole Serranos and I put them in 10 bottles of Deep Ellum vodka and let it sit.
How in the world? How do you remember?
Yeah. I just make them so many.
I make them so many times that he remembers everything.
Okay, so when you're doing that though, how do you just keep adding until you know? What do you do?
I literally did
scientist?
pretty much. I did like 20, I think, versions of that before I decided how many grams I
wasn't there yet when he was coming up with.
Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
Pretty much every infusion, every product new one that comes out. Sometimes they get rushed through if they did really well the first time. But you'll see 10 to 12 iterations on small batch scale for me before I decide that it's ready to go.
Well, I can see right now, Spin, this, because I've met you before, but this is when you talking to people about what they do. You're very passionate about it, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why, as those big successful chefs, celebrity chefs nowadays, because they're passionate about it. If you're a cook, you're not passionate about it. If you're a chef and you're a restaurateur, then you're passionate about it. And you're passionate about what you do. It's really neat.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got apple pie, Tropic Thunder, League of Their Own. Give me one more.
I would probably say the Drago. The Drago's a great one.
Where'd that name come from?
So actually Micah, he's the managing partner, one of my really good friends. He's the one that came up with that cocktail. So basically, when we first had our menu, they all had different names, and then Micah came up with a coffee cocktail name, Drago. So he's like, you know what? Let's go ahead and rename all these drinks movie drinks or something that has to do with movies. So then we went back and we changed every name on the cocktail menu.
Oh wow!
Like movie, so League of Their Own, Strawberry Redheads of the movie. Tropic Thunder.
I like that. I love that name, Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Sounds like a NASCAR guy or some movie star guy or something. Boxer, kickboxer, something.
Yeah. American Pie, which is the apple pie cocktail.
What was that line from American Pie? One time at band camp.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't say that.
Their band camp isn't that cool. Not as cool as ours.
No, it's not, is it? So what's all in that one in the Tropic Thunder?
In the Tropic Thunder. So that one was the one with the Serrano.
Okay, that's
the Serrano, orgeat, Red Bull.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah,
Red Bull
and lemon juice. Yeah.
Is there a lot of Red Bull in it?
No, just a splash.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't like Red Bull, so I always tell them you can always substitute it out. I always say put Sprite or Topo Chico in it, one or the other.
You have how many? You have 3 flavors of Red Bull? No, because I saw your.
Yeah, so we have tropical, we have sugar-free, regular, and then I'm about to get the coconut berry because I'm going to make a cocktail with it.
Is that coconut berry good?
It is incredible.
Is it really?
Oh, it's so good. So I worked a Red Bull event probably about 2 weeks ago at Toyota Music Factory for Red Bull, and they were kind of featuring the coconut berry.
Right. Man,
it was incredible, and so it just made me think, you know what? I'm going to come up with a cocktail.
Does it have an aftertaste or anything, or just tastes like a good drink?
No, it doesn't have an after. So like a lot of people when they were kind of scared when they were coming up and trying to first originally tasting the coconut Red Bull because they're like, we really don't like coconut, but when you taste it, the berry cuts into the coconut, so it doesn't really have that tanning lotion, like real coconut flavor, which is really good. That's what I loved about it.
That's awesome. What kind? And you're gonna make a drink with it?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a cocktail out of it.
You got it in your mind?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I got a little bit. So one of our hardest infusions to make is literally the coconut infused vodka that we do.
Right.
Because we take mature coconuts.
That one took a couple of iterations as well.
we take mature coconuts, which are rock hard on the outside.
Hang on to that thought, Aaron. We're gonna go for a break a little bit.
All right.
Let some advertisers come in, tell us how it's gonna go. We're going to break, and we'll see y'all in just a few minutes.
All right.
On Spoony.
This is the only 20.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Have you done it? You catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror?
I'm one of those people you don't want to see naked.
Yeah, most of us. But I mean, you look and you're going, what the?
I know.
How did I get to whatever?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs to tell you about a different way to shed those pounds. This is brand new tech. It's only been around for a couple of years or so. It was based on research from the University of California that said there's a molecule called OEA that's found naturally in your body. It produces it in the Mediterranean diet, that when taken in concentrated amounts, it will actually make you feel fuller and boost your metabolism.
I've lost about 10 pounds so far.
It's amazing.
It
now,
really is cool.
A company said, we can take this to market and make this great product that'll help you. It's called RiduZone, RIDUZone.com, RIDUZone.com. It's Brad's worked. It's worked for Brad's, worked for me, countless other people. Go to RiduZone.com and try today. You're going to love it. RiduZone.com. Remember that, RIDUZone.com.
With the boys from Deep Ellum Distillery and Deep Ellum, well, not really Deep Ellum Brewery, but they have...
We're friends.
Yeah, we're friends, yeah. Sister companies, they're more than friends. Maybe a bad cousin, I don't know.
Yeah, they're all great. They're all great people.
Well, let's go ahead. It's almost noon, isn't it?
Hey,
Noon somewhere.
Yeah, it's noon somewhere.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
That easy peasy is good.
It is
It's
easy.
been sitting there a while.
Yeah.
That was cold. It'd be incredible.
I'm not a big coffee guy, but man, that's...
Yeah, you can have quite a few
coffee.
of those on a dangerous warm afternoon.
Man, and it's awesome. I love the name Easy Peasy.
Yeah, man, all their stuff in their marketing, like their canning, everything is so creative. I love
the
it.
Dallas Blonde, that's cool looking can. That's the pink one, right?
Yeah,
yeah, it's really cool.
Do you remember?
It's more, yellow and pink.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still use the slogan or not, but when John first came up with the Deep Ellum Blonde slogan, it was the funniest thing ever. It said Dallas Blonde. What did it say? Goes down easy.
I don't remember it.
You remember that?
I don't remember that.
I was like, that's the best marketing ever.
That's fun. That's fantastic.
That's what it was called. It said Dallas Blonde. It says go down easy. It goes down easy or something like that.
That's great. Yeah. My kind of beer. All right, so we're going to talk about the distillery now and all the flavors and stuff. All right, so let's start with the original Deep Ellum, which I've had quite a bit. Tell us, how did his idea come about? Because he had the brewery first. So then he wanted to be a distiller. So how'd that come about with him?
So John always wanted to open up a distillery as well, and he actually told me that he first thought about focusing on the distillery,
right.
But then he realized that the brewery was going to be was actually going to be a thing.
Sure.
So he kind of shifted gears, and we've had the DSP for longer than I've even been here. We had a still just kind of sitting in a room waiting to be turned on, and when I was brought on about 2 years ago, I actually finished out commissioning the still and getting it all set up and turned on.
Hang on, you said commissioning a still. What does that mean?
That's literally just putting it together and making sure all the parts work.
What they call commissioning.
Yeah.
Okay.
I call it
cool.
Yeah.
Technical term.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like when they launch a boat. You know, they do the christening with the champagne bottle. Yeah. I never had a boat that big, but I'm sure it's nice. Anyway, so go ahead. So you did that.
Yeah. So I set up all the still, and then it was kind of a whirlwind. I came in and John wanted to do a vodka. We talked about doing some other products, but we decided to focus on the vodka first because vodka pays the bills, in all honesty. It's quick, it's easy to make, and not easy, but it's easier to make than some things, and it gets our name out there, and a lot of people like vodka. It's the most popular alcohol.
Oh my God. Hey, let me say something. No, you crazy. You go in a liquor store now, like because I'm in that business, because I'm in the food and drink business, I have to stay on top of everything. Yeah. And I go in a liquor store and I will just look at the shelves. I'm like, holy crap, I can't even keep track of it anymore.
It's overwhelming.
It's
It's crazy.
How does a consumer pick a vodka or a beer with all the crap that is on the shelves?
Marketing.
They know they know what's local. Yeah. They talk to us. We come in. We talk to them.
Yeah, local, and that's what I was getting at. I was glad you said that. Local nowadays is where it's at. Yeah. Local distilleries, local breweries. Sure. You have the concept. You have a place they can come try it. They're friendly. I think, and this is like I told the chef last week, and I tell them every week, people like to be now on a personal level with their chefs, their farmers, their ranchers or distillers. It makes them feel better. Yeah, it makes them feel better about the product, and that they want to buy local. And it's taken about 10 years, but that's where we are now.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
And I think it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because in Europe, every little store, every little deli, every little bar is all very small and quaint.
Oh yeah, when I was living in Scotland, I had a fishmonger, so someone that got me fishes. I had a meatmonger. I had every single. Yeah. I had everything that I needed, but they were all different stores. They were all next to each other. Right. But
that's I had
small, and I had a personal relationship with every person that's there.
Cool.
All operated by the owner. Mm-hmm. I think once you get that mentality of having 50 locations or whatever it takes, it's a whole different road for the consumer. In their perception in their mind. Yeah. And everything over there is awesome. I mean, I don't care if you're in Italy, Germany, Liechtenstein. I've not been to Scotland, but I've been to all those places, and they're all the same.
Oh yeah. Ireland as well.
Yeah, I want to go to Ireland too.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memories of when I was in Ireland was I just moved in and I talked to the butcher a little bit, and we talked about like kind of what I would like to cook, and he had my phone number, and he called me later that week. He was like, "Hey, I just got this cut in. Do you want some?" It was just an awesome experience.
You're not going to say no. You can't say no.
Yes. Well, I wasn't planning on cooking that, but now I am.
Yeah. I mean, Reed has his personal butcher here already at Rudolph's in Deep Ellum. They let him go in there and butcher stuff up.
Oh, that's neat.
It's really cool.
If you say no, I think about the soup Nazi on Seinfeld. Did you ever see that episode where the soup no soup for you? Did you ever see that?
I never seen that.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us how the first flavor of the vodka came. So how did you get the first flavor profile?
So we decided we wanted to use corn. The reason corn is the base. The reason we chose corn was a couple of reasons. One, it's gluten-free, though all distilled spirits are naturally gluten-free, but we liked that added layer of security. Okay. But the other thing was it's really an easy drinking, kind of creamy, sweet vodka base. If you use something like rye, or a lot of people assume vodka should be made from potatoes, but potatoes are hard to distill. Right. And more importantly, they give a even creamier, kind of weird mouthfeel, which I feel doesn't lend itself to mixing.
Is that the aftertaste? Did you taste in some of the vodkas? Okay.
Yeah. And then there's rye vodkas that have a spicy note to them. Okay. And some of the wheat vodkas can be kind of acidic. Right. We chose corn because it has a little bit of the sweet after note that mixes very well.
Yeah, because corn there is natural sugar in corn, correct?
Yeah, there is some natural sweetness.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Go ahead.
Anyways, so we distilled it. We distill it 10 times, but really distilling vodka X number of times isn't important.
Okay, I won't stop you in your train of thought. I was just fixing that. I was my next question. I see 4 times, 8 times, 10 times, 50 times. What's the difference? Distilling wise,
there's something called the azeotropic point in alcohol, and once you've hit the azeotropic point, you're not going to get any pure alcohol.
Azeotropic.
Azeotropic. Yeah. So that's
say that when you've been drinking.
I know, right?
I've had to. So the azeotropic point is this point about 96% alcohol where you can't purify that alcohol to 100% alcohol without using some sort of chemical or some sort of method that breaks the azeotropic point. Now, people that make like fuel ethanol will do that, but it's a lot of time and energy. And pure alcohol just doesn't taste good. You want something that has a little bit of other flavors in it. Even though the United States definition of vodka is tasteless, colorless, and odorless.
Right.
Well, every vodka has taste.
Right.
Everything has taste. We don't want something that's tasteless, colorless, and odorless.
That would be dangerous anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So we chose corn and distilled it 10 times because it just gets us to the point where we think it's got enough of the base material in there, enough of that base flavor without too much. But really, you're going to hit that azeotropic point. You're not going to change. You're not going to change the values any more than that. Where vodka can really get messed up is what you do after.
Okay.
So once you've taken it off the still, what do you want to do? Do you want to are you going to filter it? Okay, what are you going to filter it through? What your filter medium imparts flavor or removes flavor, depending on the type of filter medium.
Okay.
We choose charcoal. A lot of people also choose charcoal, but they'll do something like, oh yeah, we run it through charcoal for 3 hours, or we run it through hot lava rocks for 10 hours or something like that.
Hot lava rocks?
Yeah, there's a couple of vodkas that do it through hot lava rocks. Reyka would be an example out in Iceland. But so we chose charcoal, and we decided to do something a little different than most people. Rather than running it through a QC and like testing it on a machine or anything, we literally sit there and we taste the vodka as it comes out.
Quality control. Well, here we go. Passion.
Yeah.
This guy.
Passion.
Yeah.
Taste it every 15 minutes for about 2 to 3 hours. Yeah.
Yep. Every 15 minutes.
I've done it with him once.
Yep.
I couldn't do that job.
Every 15 minutes he
I
tastes
drank
it.
enough as it is. I couldn't do that job.
Yeah. Yeah, so every
my girlfriend might leave me. I don't know. She might be there with me.
Right? She'll be there with you.
Yeah, you know her.
You know Jan will be there.
Yeah, she will be there. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so every 15 minutes we will sit and we will taste the tank, and as it's filtering. And when it's ready, it's ready. And until it's ready, we don't let it go. And we'll be tasting back from batches of our own vodka to make sure that our flavor profile is consistent. But if I've got a cold that day, because I'm the one that mostly does it, then we're not filtering.
It changes your whole flavor profile.
So I want to make sure that we're perfect, and I want to make sure that we're getting the exact perfect flavor.
It's like people don't understand about their palate. It's like I was telling you, we did a show with Matt Pittman the other day, the big celebrity barbecue guy.
Yeah.
And we were talking about barbecue and meat and how important meat is, to get to achieve a good flavor. And I never, when I go taste a new barbecue place or new food or an event or anything, I don't know them. I never use a sauce before. I just taste the meat.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you use a sauce, it screws up your palate.
I don't even use sauce at all when I go eat barbecue.
If you have to use sauce, something's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I will taste their sauces, to see what they taste like. But no, I don't eat them. It'd be the same thing with vodka. Let me ask you a question. Why is it some vodkas you can drink and you get a hangover, and some vodkas you don't get a hangover? Even if you don't put sugar in there, I'm just saying, what is the difference?
Well, first off, how much are you drinking? always take into account, no matter what, there's going to be a hangover aspect if you drink too much.
Right.
But some vodkas will not have the same rigorous type of distillation.
Okay.
Some vodkas will not have the same rigorous type of filtration, and they'll leave something called congeners in the vodka, and those congeners can contribute to hangovers. So they can cause just that weird fuzzy
feeling. Would that
feeling
be like one of those vodkas I see on the floor down there, and you got to pick up for $3 or whatever it is.
The bottom ones,
the bottom,
and the plastic bottle.
Yeah, the plastic bottle. Yeah.
You probably want to stay away from those.
You probably do. Yeah, or Boone's Farm or whatever that is. Yeah. Okay, so we got that. So how long does it take you to actually start to finish? Real quick, give us the process of start to finish. How you do it? You get the corn in.
So we got the corn. So grain to glass, we could rush it to 7 days if we really wanted to, but I like to allow the one of the other hallmarks of our process is a very slow proof down, and allow because a lot of these big guys, they'll add basically water immediately to the alcohol, and they'll do something called iceberging, where they don't create a good emulsification. It's just like making a mayonnaise.
Sure.
And when you add water too quickly, the alcohol will actually clump up. Yeah, it'll mix with the water, but it'll mix in these little clumps, and that will bring out bad flavors that won't contribute to the smoothness. So we add 3 separate waters over the course of a couple of days each, and then normally that can take as long as 10, but I like to stretch it out to 14 days.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
And it's continuous blending too.
Yeah,
right?
it's a continuously very slow blending, and then I'm checking alcohol content constantly. I'll do my first water, and I'll bring it down to from the azeotropic point 95 to about let's see here, 45, 43, depending on how much first water I add. And the water that we're adding, by the way, is RO water. It's very, very pure water.
Yeah, very. I was just fixing that. Okay, yeah. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, that's that big white tank that sits next to those two silver tanks. So those two silver tanks, those are our blending tanks. That's Mary Kate and Ashley.
Yeah.
And what's crazy?
Wait. Mary Kate, y'all have them named?
Oh yeah,
I name all the tanks.
You do?
So explain why you have to name the tanks.
Well, yeah. So we name the tanks because it's kind of a tradition in a lot of distilleries and a lot of. I picked it up in Scotland. You name the tanks so you can be mad at a tank. Tanks have personalities. Every piece of equipment has a personality.
Because of flavor profile, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so you want to name. You want to name the tank, not just call like, oh, 001 is. Doesn't taste right, or it's second today. It's Mary Kate isn't working right today.
That's
or sometimes not performing right.
Yeah, or sometimes we use a little bit more colorful language.
Yeah.
Well, I bet you do, but that's like on our ranches. We have pasture names where we put bulls, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like we call the Big Barney Bull Trap because he's a little cantankerous at times. So,
right.
You know, it's the same type deal, but it's also. It puts on a more personal level.
Right. Yeah.
That's that passion thing again. You're personalizing what you do with everything you do.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
So like if you're in the distillery and there's nobody in there and there's no music on, no sound, it's really crazy. And I didn't notice this until probably like the first month after I worked there. Those blending tanks sound like a submarine.
Do they really?
Yes, because it's moving so slowly in there. And I was like, I'll never forget. I was closing up one day and I was like, man, what does that sound? It sounds like a submarine. I could not figure out for the longest time. And finally, I walked up to the blending tanks and I was like, oh man, it's those tanks. Yeah. Those tanks are just moving so slowly.
You keep the music up pretty good in there. Is it,
yeah.
So it's a great atmosphere.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to hear it.
No, it's a great atmosphere though.
But if it's dead silent in there, yeah, it sounds like a submarine in there.
All right, so here we go.
I always say the most important thing for any distiller is to listen.
All right.
Any brewer or distiller, really.
Anything.
Yeah, because you can hear if there's a drip of water in the wrong spot or a CO2 leak from one of your fermenters or something like that, you'll hear it. So I always try to keep, when I walk in, the first thing I do is I just
listen.
There's something wrong.
Yeah. You know, my family used to own tons of restaurants. So we had 150 at one time, 125, 150. Yeah. And so in the mornings you go in, you can always, if you listen, you can hear ice machine rattling.
Oh yeah.
Or, you know, something's not right. You've got a leak in the CO2 deal or whatever. You can always hear it. But you got to take time to stop and listen. It's like at my ranch. I stop and I go out early in the mornings. Before any engines get going, cars get going, and I can hear you if you have a cow in trouble or a calf or a horse. You can hear them. They'll be calling. You know, and you can hear it a long way. So it's the same thing, same process. You just got to listen.
Yeah, pay attention.
Pay attention. Yeah, face to face.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did this one first.
Yep.
Which one came second, or did they come at the same time?
Dill pickle. Technically,
dill pickle. Okay, now this one. This is awesome.
That is awesome.
It's awesome.
That with our homemade Bloody Mary mix.
Yeah. So tell me what the process is for making this one and how you add the flavors. So how's that work?
So it was a very interesting process. We started off with just pickles that we wanted, pickles that we liked, and it was actually kind of a weird day. Stuart, my assistant distiller, and I, we drove to Kroger and we bought one jar of every pickle that they had.
Yeah, because pickles are all different flavors.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I mean, you got sweet pickles.
We looked absolutely crazy because we then walked out the door and sat at the parking lot, opening each jar and trying a pickle and kind of narrowing down, okay, which ones do we want to go buy more of so we can do some tests.
You know what that is, don't you? That's passion.
Yeah.
Or craziness.
Yeah, well, that's passion. Here, go ahead.
Yeah. It's passion in a bottle.
That's
what that is.
We definitely got some weird looks from the security guard. He passed us like 4 times.
Did you really?
Like I had my trunk open with all the pickles in, and we were just.
You sitting there just eating them like that?
Just eating them like, nah, that one's no good. Let's see.
Some of them were kind of garlicky too, aren't they?
Okay. Yeah, and we discovered very quickly that we did not like the garlic flavor.
Well, not in that.
They infuse pickles with different kind of stuff too now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So we then went. We bought those pickles and we infused the vodka with those pickles. We liked the flavors, but I realized that we weren't really getting enough of the brine from it because we just had the pickles in there and not the brine.
Okay.
So
the brine is what that people don't know. It's what they make it's what they do the pickles in.
Yes.
Right.
So one of the things that I did was I then went back and I bought all the brining ingredients. And so we infused the vodka also with the brining ingredients. So we've got mustard seed in there. We got a little bit of pink peppercorn, all kinds of stuff.
Fresh dill.
Yeah, fresh dill. A lot of fresh dill. Yeah. So we did that, and our first few batches came out horrible. They just tasted terrible.
You don't have to make a whole big batch.
No.
Did you?
We started with 5-gallon batches.
5 gallon. Okay.
Yeah, and we had some that were good and some that
you just throw it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
you just gotta
remember trash those too big.
Don't remind me.
That was a lot of vodka down the drain. Literally down the drain.
Yeah.
You know what that is? That's passion.
Passion. That was passion down the drain. That's what that was.
R&D, baby.
R&D.
Research and development.
Yeah. Yeah. So once we came up with a recipe that we really liked, we then said, okay, we're gonna do this, and we found out that we couldn't get enough of the pickles that we liked.
Oh.
So we said, okay, we'll switch to the second version that we liked. Well, those didn't work out. No. They did not taste right at all.
Tasted totally different.
And so we were like, okay. After that was the big batch that we okay, we got to.
There's really only one brand of pickles that we used for it.
Okay.
So then I ended up going in to Kroger, talking with the store manager, and getting set up as a grocery account, like a full account to get a pallet of pickles.
You couldn't just go direct to the company?
Oh well, I did, and they said that we'd have to like do a whole bunch of other stuff and like pay for a semi truck to come out. And so we like
that would be good.
Yeah, so we ended up just ordering one pallet on this semi truck. So we were again at Kroger looking like the crazy people.
Pallet of pickles.
Picking up a pallet.
How'd you pick a pallet of pickles? Did you go get rid of a truck?
Oh, we have a truck.
That's right. You have the brewery truck. Sorry.
Yeah, we have trucks.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
They're nice enough.
Yeah.
Let us borrow trucks.
Let us borrow a truck for a day. And
so you got that. So you did that, and that's how you came up with the and that's how you got the flavor. Then okay, so after you distill the vodka, when do you put the flavor in? At the very end, in the middle?
Yeah. So after the distillation, so sometimes
distillation. That's what I'm sorry.
So sometimes we'll do it at different points, but 9 times out of 10 we'll do it after the filtration and just a little bit before finishing up proof down to make sure that we get the right proof, because obviously these things will add a little bit of stuff for different proofing. But
that's neat. And so, and do you taste this batch along the way as well?
Yeah, every time.
Okay.
I mean, depending on how concerned I am about something, I'll taste either every day or every other day or sometimes once a week.
Okay. And then what would be the reason? Have you ever done one with your same I guess recipe and not taste right?
Yes.
And what causes that? You don't know.
As soon as I find out, I'll let you know. 9 times out of 10, we can trace it back to, there was this problem, or there was that problem. But if it doesn't taste right and I don't know why, then it's just. Can
the pickles be different that you get in? Do you taste the pickles when you get them in? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, we do. They're pretty consistent, so we kind of have laxed off on that, but we do. Initially, yes.
It's a major brand pickle that we use.
Yeah. So I'm sure the flavor profile is probably the same. Yeah. All right. So then we got the dill, which I love, and of course this was delicious too.
So good. This
is the apple cinnamon vodka. So, how did this flavor come about? Apple cinnamon. Apple.
So we want to.
Let me see. I'm going the wrong way. TV got it my back. There we go. Yeah. Got that big screen over there. I was going. I was on. You know, when you're on TV, I still after all. You don't remember. You got to go the opposite.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So
the way we came up with this one was we were just kind of sitting there, trying to think of things that felt like fall. It was for Thanksgiving time, and we just came up with. Hey, well, apples and cinnamon seem to work together. Yeah. Again, one of those kind of sitting at the bar. What are good flavors? What are flavors that I miss?
At the bar at y'all's place or bar somewhere else?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We'll find out today.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell, we might come up with a good idea today.
That's right.
Yeah, sitting at the brewery.
Yeah. So we sit at the bar and just or sit wherever. Or just during the day, we'll be throwing out stuff. I have a big old spreadsheet that I just anytime I have an idea I add, and there's notes on my phone and notes.
So
all
that's
over.
what you put. Is this an actual manual spreadsheet, or do you use a phone for the?
Oh yeah, I mean
spreadsheet of trial and errors.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep, every time, and then we just started. We worked it out, and I developed I went through and we bought every type of apple that we could find and decided which apples we liked, the flavors.
Oh yeah, because those are all different.
Yeah, so we have Gala apples and Fiji apples in that one.
Yep.
Like Fiji water.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's still the best water. I mean, I just like Fiji water.
Oh, yeah, that's incredible.
But so how many apples did you try? You look like you needed to get to Kroger?
Yeah. Well, this time we did Kroger, and then we also did, I think we did Whole Foods. We hit like 4 stores.
Yeah, because apples are different than pickles. So
yes,
so
many different apples
and so many different farms. So they would definitely have a different selection at Central Market or at World or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's one thing about all our infusions too. You know, you can make a batch of, let's say, the last batch of pineapple that I made wasn't as sweet as the batch that I had now.
Pineapples.
So yeah, we don't add any fillers in it. It's just their natural sugars that come out of the fruit and vegetable. Yeah,
Right.
that we just that we infuse it with.
Right.
So I remember the first batch of pineapple that we didn't come out as sweet, but then the second batch that we did just came out unbelievably sweet. So it kind of.
How did you just go with it? You just have to go with it?
Yeah, you just go with
Okay.
it. I mean, it's really
Just
depends on the
adjust
fruit.
the other cocktail levels.
Yeah.
So how long? So you put the cinnamon apple at the same time or one different times?
We put them in at the same time in different bags, and then we remove. For the big ones, we removed the cinnamon at a
bags.
different.
So you put them in bags, tie the bag, drop the bag in.
Yeah, we've got these big silicone
Yeah,
bags.
I'm making this. I'm simplifying. I'm sure, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and so we remove. Depending for this one, we removed the cinnamon a little earlier than the apple because we felt that the cinnamon was starting to overpower.
Yeah, if you don't, so cinnamon's probably more potent flavor than
for
apple
sure.
because apples are very mild to me.
Oh, for sure.
Cinnamon comes through in alcohol very, very quickly.
Bam.
Yeah, just like any kind of herb, like basil, like on our strawberry basil.
Oh yeah, I watch you when you do that. Not to get off subject,
the mint.
but, I'm ADD.
Yeah.
You go, pow. You
Yeah,
hit
you
the
slap
mint. What do
it. Yeah, just releasing the oils.
Is that what you do?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
release the oil in the mint.
Yes.
But obviously it gets on your hand, but it always smells good when
Yeah,
you do that.
yeah. No, you're just releasing the oils. Is what you're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah,
That's
give
cool.
it a good slap.
Get a slap. Yeah. Pow.
That's right.
Well, I won't say anything else. I'm gonna leave that alone. So which one sells the best?
Well,
obviously,
Yeah.
I guess that's a dumb question. I guess which flavor sells the best?
So we only did 250 bottles of apple cinnamon, 250 bottles of dill pickle,
Right.
For like a limited release for like Christmas time.
Okay.
So we won't, you can't buy these at the store. You can only buy them
okay, hang
you can
on.
only get them at the distillery.
That was my next question. I was just
Yeah.
fixing it because I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
You got to come to the distillery and get them.
Yeah. And
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and once we're out, we're out. So I think we're only down to maybe 20, 30 bottles left of each. So anybody wants some, come to the distillery and grab it before it's gone.
Everybody hear that? Deep Ellum Distillery.
That's right.
And where? Deep Ellum.
Right, Deep Ellum. And then I think probably next month, the month after, we'll come out with another, another flavor. And but like I said, it will never. You'll only be able to buy it at the distillery. We'll
Right,
do a
always.
limit. Yeah.
And
limited.
what are your new flavor ideas?
I mean, I would like to do Serrano personally because that's.
You're the
I just
Serrano boy.
love that Serrano. That Serrano's
Do you,
awesome.
do you have any drinks with sriracha pepper in them or anything? Any flavors of sriracha pepper? No.
I have worked with sriracha pepper. We found that the spice was a little overpowering compared to
Okay.
the flavor of the meat.
Okay.
One of the things that I really want in a like Serrano infused or chili infused vodka was to be able to taste the meat of the
Sure.
pepper as well as that
And not have it
spice.
overpowered. It's like some hot sauces you taste.
Yeah.
So damn hot you can't eat it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There's no flavor. But the good hot sauces have got flavor. They've got lots of flavor, and
Yeah.
they're not so hot you can't burn your palate out.
Like Reed came up with an infusion for Valentine's Day. I was out of town, obviously. I was in Iceland, but it was what was it? Chocolate,
We did raspberries and chocolate.
raspberry chocolate vodka.
Wait, he came back from Iceland. You went or what? How'd that work? Because he's been too.
Well, yeah, no, he went before I did. He went like 3-4 weeks before I did.
I saw his picture. I said, "This son of a man right
Oh,
here." He didn't
man.
tell me he was going to Iceland.
Oh, it was an incredible experience. Snowmobiling was.
I saw you in a hot tub over there in Iceland. The steam was. Were you in a hot tub or a
Oh,
pool?
that was the Blue Lagoon.
Blue. That's right, Blue
Yeah,
Lagoon.
the Blue Lagoon.
That was blue.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. We were there like at 8, 9 a.m.
Was it all ice, really?
Oh yeah, I mean it's 110 degrees inside. And it was pouring down snow, and we were just in the Blue Lagoon while it
That
was
was
snowing outside.
awesome.
So once you get out, it's cold, but when you're in there,
Well, it
It's
looked like
hot.
you were inside. It looked like you were outside the Blue Lagoon, but it's not. It's inside.
no, it's outside.
It's outside.
It's
Oh,
all outdoors.
Oh, okay. But it was
Yeah.
snowing. Okay.
Yeah, but it's snowing.
Okay.
Like it started hailing a little bit, and then so we kind of hid underneath the bridge, but it only hailed for like a minute, like small pebbles, and then after that, just started pouring down snow. And we were like, man, we're literally in Iceland in 110 degrees, hot spring, while it's snowing on us. Life couldn't get any better. While drinking beer.
All right. So before we close the show out, we've got Deep Ellum Brewery opened up today in
Yes.
Fort Worth, West 7th, which
Seventh.
we're going to be there.
Officially,
Let me
it's called Funky Town Fermatory.
That's right. I'm sorry.
That's right.
It's you can't miss the building.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
yellow. It's the best looking building on the block.
It is.
It
I
is.
think so anyway.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about that a bit later, but I think it's the best looking building on the block. And that opens today. And then we've got Deep Ellum Distillery. What are your hours there, real quick?
We're open today and tomorrow from 3 to midnight.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you up on Sundays?
Nope, no Sundays.
No, only on the Super Bowl, something like
Yeah,
that.
football season will be back
Okay.
open, but yeah, right now we're.
And you can get the apple cinnamon, you can get the pickle and the regular vodka at the distillery. How many bottles can you get? 2 each?
Yeah, so we can sell legally 2 bottles per person per month from the distillery.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're $20 each.
All right, $20 each. Yeah, you can't beat that, can you?
No, it's a good deal.
$20 for a little bit of flavor and some
right.
whole lot of fun.
Yeah, or you come to the distillery and you can do tastings, you can do flights. It's
Yeah.
$12.
That's right.
It's a good deal.
That's right. That's right. You got the flavors.
Yeah.
Okay, it's deepelmdistillery.com. What is it?
Yeah. It's deepelmvodka.com.
Deep Ellum Vodka and then Deep Ellum Brewery?
Yeah, deepelmbrewing.com.
Okay, so deepellumbrewing.com. All right. And I guess you can reach those two separate websites.
Yes.
Okay.
Two separate websites.
I thought they might have one with a beer on side and a vodka on it, so that's cool. All right, you can find me at treyschowdown.com or the best thing, drinkwithtrey.com.
That's right.
And you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those at Trey's Chowdown. And we're going to be here every Friday from 10 to 11, and we look forward to hearing y'all or seeing you. And I want to thank Aaron and Reed for coming today.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
And y'all head out to Deep Ellum Distillery or Deep Ellum Brewery today, 11 o'clock. Y'all, Aaron and Reed will sign a can for you over there.
right.
We got a Sharpie with us. Look, y'all go to Spoony.com or hook us up with Spoony on Facebook. And we will see you next Friday at 10 a.m.
All right.
This is the only 24-hour Take Anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. CPAC hears from a senior member of